Hi guys. So I'm here today to show you guys how to replace a clutch on a Honda Rebel motorcycle. This is a 2001 Honda Rebel CMX250C. I'm going to show you what tools you need, what products I'm using for this particular replacement, and then we'll walk you through the steps, alright? This particular motorcycle has 34,000 miles on it. I believe I am the third or fourth owner of this motorcycle, and I do not know if it's ever been taken apart before. Right here we got the actual clutch plates. Okay, now for those of you who are thinking about buying these, I got them because they are the heavy duty variant, stock number CK1191. Right here we've got the heavy duty spring kit as well. You're going to get 6 plates here, 6 springs here in this particular kit. Model is CSK11. I went ahead and got the OEM steel plates. There's 6 of them here. Right here, there's no way to get around it. Some guys take a socket and they grind it down with a grinder to make these little nubs right there on it. But you can buy this tool for about $9, $10 online. It is a Honda Rebel clutch hub spanner tool. This tool works for several other models as well, but if you just type in Honda Rebel clutch tool, you'll usually see something that looks exactly like this. Alright guys, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and drain the oil. This is going to be your drain bolt right here, 17 millimeter. You're going to have 10 bolts that need to come off of the right crankcase cover here. Now, these are going to be 8 millimeter, so I use a 1/4 inch socket with an extension, 8 millimeter socket. You've got to release this clutch cable right here. If you don't have the cable loose enough to do that, just go up on the handlebar, release all of your tension off of that cable. Alright, so once everything is off, guys, you can use a small crowbar like this, a small pry bar. Don't give it too much muscle. Alright, this thing's aluminum. It's aluminum head, aluminum cover, aluminum block. All you want to do right up here at the very top, right behind your oil, right where your oil dipstick is, you can lean that on the fins. Very, very light pressure. You don't want to crack a fin here, guys, but if you just give it a little push, you'll see it comes out. You can go over here, you can get the other end of your pry bar, and right there. Don't use a hammer on this. Don't try to chisel it in there. Just find areas where you can get in and get a little bit of leverage, and then just pry it out. There's an area right over here as well. When you pull this crankcase off, you've got a dowel pin right here at 9 o'clock, and you've got one right over here at 3 o'clock. So you don't want to try to put too much sideways pressure on it. You want to try to come straight out. You've got a spring that's right in here, right behind the letter A on Honda. This might fall out into your crankcase cover. I'll show you where that goes, all right? Let's pull it out. There we go. You hear that? That's that spring falling down. Okay. Now looking inside the crankcase, we're going to find it right here. Just a note on taking this apart. So both on the bolt underneath here, as well as these 4 bolts here, if you're trying to use just a standard socket or a standard wrench, you know, wrench, ratchet, socket, you're gonna move this basket. A lot of people clamp things on here to hold this basket in place, and I can tell by looking at it that this has been apart before. If you look, you'll see these teeth right here. Somebody's grabbed it there, somebody's also grabbed it here on the other side. And that's going to be evident right there where my finger's at. So we can see this has been replaced at some point before, it looks like. Instead of grabbing it, I just use, instead of trying to snatch this, I just put the motorcycle in 5th gear. And you can take them off that way, or just simply use an impact. You remove that hardware, you're going to see this clutch bolt. Now when this is installed, it's crushed right here to prevent it from backing out. So you're going to have to work that out, or you could just give her the old gas with the impact and see what happens. But I would recommend just getting a screwdriver, trying to see if you can maybe pull that out a little bit, and then we'll take that off. I've always reused these. You can buy a new one. Right there's that indentation that you got to make right there at 12 o'clock. And you can punch that back in. Okay. Once you get it off, you got to pay attention here. You got a spring that's going to come out. This one says outside on it. Okay. And this right here, it depends. If you look, it's actually the way it's shaped. It's curved. It's curved in. Not all of them say outside. I don't believe. I've done them before that did not say that. You just kind of had to know. Kind of had to know. Just had to pay attention. So if yours doesn't, just know that's the one you got to be careful with. Then here, your clutch basket's out. Okay. You've got another washer right here. When I take these out, just kind of regardless of what I'm doing, I put them back just the way it came out. All right, once we got our clutch basket and our oil pan, lift this guy out. Okay, and I always try anything that I'm going to put back in, I just try to work it out. You got this guy right here. Again, it's all about the shape of this. Okay, you'll see it's curved in right there. Okay, it needs to shape from the outside inward towards the front. You don't want to put that in backwards. Alright guys, so at this point we got everything broken down on the unit. From now we're on easy street. We're just putting everything back together. Alright, we got our clutch basket. You got this judder spring right here. Now listen, this spring, as you see, the orientation of it, the outer side goes this direction. So what we want to do is have that going downward into this basket, okay? Basically your inner diameter is going to be facing downward. The outer diameter is facing outward, guys. So we're going to drop that in. Okay? And look, you can always use your old steel disc right here just to look at the wear. So if you're looking here on this disc, you'll notice that on the steel plates there's a machine side that has some abrupt ends, and then you've got the other side which is like more of a casted curved end. Now as you can see, the side that's running my wear pattern for this judder spring is having the machined side facing the motor. Okay, now this is true on everything. There's a washer underneath the basket inside the clutch. Let me show this to you guys real quick. It's pretty important. Now we get this stuff back together exactly as we took it out. So if you look right here, you'll notice there's a machine side right here, and that machine side is going towards the motor, and you're going to see that same kind of that same theme throughout this entire process. Okay, so at this point, guys, we've got our clutch basket, we've got our spring in the basket with the outer diameter facing outward towards us, and we're going to start off with a brand new, you'll notice no wear on this guy. We're going to start off with a brand new steel plate. I'm going to drop that in. Now with your new clutch plates, now they recommend, guys, that you take and soak these in oil for 24 hours, which is what we've been doing. And the oil I'm using is just Valvoline conventional motorcycle oil, 4-stroke. Okay. So look, we'll drop that in. And again, the machined side of these is always going to face out towards us. Okay? Always want to take the components that we can clean and just give them a once over. I take the outside of the crankcase. Okay, so there we go. We got our basket together, and we're going to take this basket as a unit, and we're just going to slip her right back in here. We're going to come back to this washer. Now listen, it's going to give us an orientation here. It's going to tell us outside. We want to just put that right back in. Take our clutch bolt. We're going to put that in. If you didn't know, the smooth side to this is going to go in. And this side here with the lip is going to face outward. Okay. Now I've got an impact here, so I'm just going to lightly, I'm not going to go crazy on it. I'm going to look at it because I need to get this guy seated down in here. So I kind of have an idea of where I need to be pushing this guy to. Just gonna take a couple ooga-doogas, right? Back of a ratchet or a hammer. And there you go. Alright guys, when it comes to putting this guy back in, if there's any crud on it, any kind of Loctite or anything, look, this bearing just pushes right out. You get your rag, get up here and clean that. If you got some brake clean, mine's sitting right over there. I'm not going to brake clean it, but you can. Make the process a little bit quicker. If you want a torque value on these bolts on the lifter plate, some of these things you kind of go with from just feel. I literally took them till they were, I would say, probably 12 to 16 foot-pounds. Alright guys, we got to clean the old gasket out. So one thing that I didn't mention in the required pieces was a gasket. We do got one, and I'll get you guys the part number for that, for the OEM gasket. I just take a scraper right here. Depending on how long it's been since this has been done or the side cover's been off, sometimes you can reuse these guys. I've done it before. I've been able to break these things down, you know, 3 and 4 times without having to replace a gasket. But this guy's foobar. She's an oldie but goodie, so we just want to take our blade, if we're going to do it this way, we just want enough to be able to get up in here, get this gasket off. And guys, if you're looking for any kind of a value for these guys, I would say keep it very light. I think the torque spec, I want to say, is 3 or 7 foot-pounds. I'm not entirely sure. Again, you know, I've done this quite a few times. I go by feel. When you get down to torque values this small, I don't even really tend to use a wrench on them. I literally like to just go to where it feels nice and then just go from there. What feels nice to you may be a little different than what feels nice to me, so keep that in mind.